I guess on the first episode, I said, my cars are going to shape the world. Taken from everything. I'm not happy with all my...
Chad Hiltz, better known to millions as Bad Chad, is one of the most unique, fearless, and imaginative builders the automotive world has ever seen. From turning scrap metal into show-stopping masterpieces to crafting cars that look like they belong in another universe, Chad built a reputation that felt almost mythic. His show, Bad Chad Customs, didn't just highlight cars, it showcased the mind of a man who saw art where others saw junk, possibility where others saw limits. But then, something happened. Suddenly, the noise around him quieted. The cameras stopped rolling. Fans began asking the same question: where did Bad Chad go? What really happened to him? Behind the sparks, welded steel, and wild creativity was a man battling pressures most viewers never saw. Running a shop, managing a television show, balancing relationships, navigating rising expectations, all of it created a weight that even someone as driven as Chad couldn't ignore forever. Those who followed his journey noticed the signs: fewer public appearances, delayed projects, hints of exhaustion behind the signature confidence. What makes Chad's story so gripping is the contrast between the legend and the man. Yes, he was a builder of impossible machines, but he was also a human being navigating burnout, criticism, shifting priorities, and the overwhelming demands of fame. While fans assumed he was simply busy creating his next outrageous build, Chad was facing decisions that would change everything: his future, his career, and his identity as Bad Chad. Today, the truth behind his disappearance is finally becoming clear. It's a story filled with tension, conflict, reinvention, and the search for balance in a life that had become bigger than he ever imagined. For the first time, the question has an answer: what really happened to Chad Hiltz? And it's far more emotional than anyone expected. Chad Hiltz quickly became a recognizable figure in the automotive world thanks to Bad Chad Customs, a brand built on creativity, ambition, and a flair for turning ordinary vehicles into rolling works of art. Fans were drawn to his charismatic personality, energetic presentation style, and the inventive approach he brought to customizing cars. From eye-catching paint schemes to radical interior redesigns, Chad's work set him apart from countless others in the industry. His rise wasn't overnight, but it was meteoric once he gained traction on social media and YouTube. Videos of him working on trucks, Jeeps, and SUVs went viral, captivating audiences who admired both his skill and his entertaining, larger-than-life personality. Chad's ability to blend humor, personality, and craftsmanship made him more than a builder. He became a brand, and Bad Chad Customs quickly amassed a loyal following of fans who eagerly awaited every new project. Yet behind the scenes, the story was more complicated than the video suggested. Running a successful custom shop is not simply about creativity. It's a high-pressure environment with tight deadlines, client expectations, and constant competition. Chad often found himself balancing the demands of building vehicles with maintaining his social media presence, dealing with sponsorships, and navigating the growing pressures of fame. While fans saw the flashy results and charismatic personality, few were aware of the stress, long hours, and personal sacrifices required to sustain the business. Chad's passion for customization was undeniable, but that same passion sometimes contributed to conflicts. Employees and collaborators have described moments of tension in the shop, where Chad's perfectionism collided with practical limitations. Mistakes, delays, or differing opinions occasionally led to arguments, but those close to him say these moments were fueled by his desire to produce top-quality work rather than malice. His drive for excellence, while inspiring, also created an intense environment that was not always easy to navigate. Financial pressures added another layer of complexity. Building custom vehicles is expensive, and while Bad Chad Customs gained popularity quickly, keeping a shop running required careful planning, consistent revenue, and timely project completion. Some projects went over budget, while others faced unexpected mechanical or logistical challenges. These realities were rarely highlighted in his videos, leaving fans with an incomplete picture of the struggles behind the glamour. Also emphasizes Chad's personal journey. The rise to fame brought excitement but also scrutiny. Online audiences celebrated his work, but the increased visibility meant that mistakes, missteps, or personal moments were amplified. Chad had to adapt quickly to the public eye, learning how to handle criticism, fan expectations, and the pressures of maintaining a brand in the spotlight. These experiences shaped both his approach to business and his personal growth, forcing him to confront challenges far beyond the shop floor. By the end of it becomes clear that Chad Hiltz's journey is more than just a tale of viral videos and custom vehicles. It's a story about ambition, creativity, and the cost of building a brand in an industry that demands constant innovation and performance. Fans may have seen the vehicles and the entertaining videos, but the real story, one of perseverance, long hours, and the challenges of running a custom empire, was only just beginning to unfold. Chad Hiltz's rise set the stage for the dramatic twists, unexpected challenges, and personal trials that would soon define what really happened to Bad Chad Customs. And what fans were about to discover behind the cameras, while Chad Hiltz's rise with Bad Chad Customs was impressive, reveals the struggles that fans rarely saw. Maintaining a custom shop, creating viral content, and meeting the expectations of a growing audience came with pressures that tested Chad both professionally and personally. Success, it turns out, came with a cost, and the challenges behind the camera were often far greater than those in front of it. One of the first major hurdles Chad faced was managing the growing workload. As his popularity surged, so did the demand for custom builds, sponsorships, and social media content. Each project required meticulous attention, from mechanical precision to design innovation. The tight schedules and high expectations often meant long nights in the shop, balancing multiple projects while ensuring the quality his brand had become known for. Chad is passionate about perfection, says a former collaborator. But sometimes that perfectionism led to stress, tension, and burnout, both for him and the team. Financial pressures also created strain. Custom vehicles are expensive, and even with viral videos and a growing fan base, revenue streams were unpredictable. Some projects went over budget due to unforeseen mechanical challenges, while others faced delays from shipping parts or coordinating specialized work. Balancing these financial realities with creative ambitions required careful planning, negotiation, and constant problem-solving. The gap between fan expectations and business realities sometimes made Chad's work even more stressful. Also sheds light on personal conflicts. Employees and collaborators recount moments when disagreements arose over design choices, project timelines, or management decisions. While these conflicts were not uncommon in high-pressure creative industries, the intensity sometimes created a tense work environment. Chad's drive to succeed was admirable, but it occasionally resulted in friction with his team. Friends emphasize that these conflicts were never malicious. They were a byproduct of his relentless pursuit of excellence and the pressures of running a high-profile custom shop. The media and online attention added another layer of complication. Fans loved Chad's personality and skill, but the scrutiny of social media magnified mistakes and missteps. Every delay, mishap, or critical comment felt amplified, creating additional stress for someone already managing a complex workload. Navigating this public pressure while maintaining his creative vision was a challenge that few outsiders fully appreciated. Despite these challenges, Chad's passion for custom vehicles never wavered. He remained committed to pushing creative boundaries, experimenting with new designs, and turning ordinary trucks and SUVs into works of art. Yet, the combination of professional stress, personal strain, and public scrutiny began to take a toll. Sources close to him note that this period marked a turning point, forcing Chad to confront both his limits and the realities of sustaining a high-profile brand in a demanding industry. Closes with the realization that Chad Hiltz's journey was far from simple. The viral videos and fan admiration only told part of the story. Behind the humor, flashy builds, and entertaining persona was a man juggling pressure, expectations, and the often harsh realities of a growing business. These struggles would set the stage for the pivotal events and personal challenges that fans were only beginning to uncover, a reminder that every success story comes with unseen obstacles. Understanding these struggles provides context for what really happened to Bad Chad Customs. It was not just the business, but the personal toll, the internal conflicts, and the relentless pressure to maintain a brand that had made Chad a household name. The highs and lows of this period defined the trajectory of his career and ultimately led to the turning points that would forever change his story. As Chad Hiltz's popularity with Bad Chad Customs continued to rise. Reveals the critical turning points that would define his career and personal life. The same drive and creativity that had fueled his success also exposed him to challenges that would test his resilience, judgment, and the future of his brand. One of the most significant turning points was a series of high-profile projects that did not go as planned. Custom builds that were meant to showcase innovation faced unexpected mechanical issues, delays, and in some cases, budget overruns. For a shop known for quality and reliability, these setbacks attracted attention from fans and sponsors alike. While Chad remained committed to finishing each project to the best of his ability, the mounting pressure highlighted the thin line between success and overextension in the custom automotive world. Internal conflicts within the shop also reached a peak during this period. Employees and collaborators have shared that disagreements over project management, design choices, and workflow created tension that was difficult to navigate. Chad's perfectionism, while a key factor in his success, sometimes exacerbated these conflicts. The stress of meeting tight deadlines, satisfying client expectations, and producing viral content often created friction between team members. These moments of tension, though temporary, were emblematic of the pressures of running a high-profile creative business. Also touches on the personal cost of fame. As Bad Chad Customs gained a larger audience, Chad faced increased scrutiny from social media and online forums. Fans celebrated the finished builds, but criticism of minor delays or perceived errors added stress to an already challenging environment. Chad learned firsthand how public expectations could amplify setbacks, creating a relentless cycle of pressure that was difficult to escape. For someone passionate about his work, this scrutiny was both motivating and exhausting. Amid the professional and public pressures, Chad also had to contend with personal struggles. Friends close to him noted that the combination of stress, long hours, and heightened visibility took a toll on his mental and physical health. Late nights in the shop, constant problem-solving, and the demand to maintain an entertaining online persona created a whirlwind that left little time for rest or reflection. These personal challenges would shape the decisions he made moving forward, influencing both his professional path and personal growth. Despite these difficulties, Chad's passion and determination never faded. He continued to push boundaries in automotive customization, experimenting with new techniques, paint schemes, and vehicle designs. However, the lessons from this turning point were clear. Creativity and ambition must be balanced with planning, communication, and realistic expectations. Without this balance, even the most talented innovators risk burnout, conflict, and reputational setbacks. Closes by emphasizing that the trajectory of Bad Chad Customs was shaped not only by public successes, but also by the challenges behind the scenes. Fans who only saw the viral videos never experienced the late nights, mechanical setbacks, or interpersonal conflicts that defined this crucial period. Understanding these turning points provides a clearer picture of what really happened to Chad Hiltz, illustrating that every creative success carries hidden struggles and hard-earned lessons. By confronting these obstacles, Chad Hiltz not only survived the pressures of a growing brand but also gained perspective, resilience, and insight into how to manage both his creative vision and personal well-being. These pivotal moments would ultimately prepare him for the challenges, controversies, and decisions that would define the next of Bad Chad Customs and the life of its founder. After the intense rise, setbacks, and turning points that defined Bad Chad Customs, explores where Chad Hiltz stands today. For fans who have followed his journey, this provides insight into the personal and professional growth he experienced, the lessons he learned, and the new path he has forged after facing both public and private challenges. One of the first observations from those close to Chad is his renewed focus on balance. The earlier periods of long hours, high-pressure builds, and social media scrutiny taught him that ambition alone is not enough. Chad has learned to prioritize his health, well-being, and the relationships that sustain him alongside his creative goals. He's found a rhythm, says a former collaborator. Chad still loves building and innovating, but he approaches projects with a calmer, more strategic mindset. Financial stability and sustainability have also become central to his approach. While viral videos and public recognition propelled him to fame, Chad now emphasizes careful planning, realistic project timelines, and responsible budgeting. He recognizes that a thriving custom shop requires both creativity and structure. This shift has allowed him to continue producing eye-catching vehicles without sacrificing quality or overextending himself or his team. Also highlights Chad's personal growth. Experiencing setbacks, conflicts, and the pressures of fame forced him to develop resilience, patience, and adaptability. Friends note that he is now more thoughtful in his interactions, both with clients and collaborators, and better able to navigate challenges without the intense stress that marked earlier periods. This maturity has not only improved the shop's operations but also strengthened Chad's own confidence in his ability to handle adversity. Public perception has also shifted. While fans remember the high-energy, larger-than-life personality from earlier videos, Chad's current presence reflects a more seasoned, reflective professional. He continues to engage audiences through social media, but with a focus on transparency, quality, and authenticity. Videos now often showcase both the creative process and the realistic challenges of custom work, giving fans a more complete picture of what goes into each project. Importantly, Chad's story is also about perseverance and reinvention. He has managed to maintain the brand identity of Bad Chad Customs while learning from past mistakes and adjusting to the realities of the automotive industry. Whether dealing with mechanical setbacks, tight deadlines, or team dynamics, he has developed strategies to ensure that challenges are met with thoughtful solutions rather than stress-fueled reactions. Closes with a sense of optimism. Chad Hiltz's journey, marked by both triumph and hardship, illustrates the realities behind the glamour of viral fame and custom automotive success. His ability to confront obstacles, learn from mistakes, and adapt demonstrates resilience, passion, and determination, the qualities that first earned him admiration from fans. While Bad Chad Customs is no longer just about flashy builds and entertaining videos, it has evolved into a brand that reflects both creativity and professionalism, guided by the lessons Chad has learned firsthand. For those who wondered what really happened to Chad Hiltz, the answer is complex but inspiring. He faced challenges that tested his career, creativity, and personal resilience. Yet he emerged with renewed focus, strategic vision, and a stronger foundation for the future. His story serves as a reminder that success is rarely linear, and that perseverance, self-reflection, and adaptability are essential in overcoming obstacles, both on the shop floor and in life. Chad Hiltz's journey underscores an important truth. Behind every viral video and custom masterpiece is a human story of dedication, struggle, and growth, a story that is as real and compelling as the vehicles he builds.